There's high points that you could go visit, and you can see the vista with all the colors just erupting. And if you do it early in the morning, you get the nice mist coming off the water, and it's just gorgeous.
Hi again, it's Jim Hamill. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast, Season 3, Episode 21, the annual transition that sets the leaves ablaze with color, fall foliage. Each year, the Pocono Mountains landscape turns vibrant glows of red, yellows, even oranges. It's even earned us designation as the third best destination for fall foliage from USA Today 10 Best Readers just last year. And this year, the fall foliage forecast is out. Find out when peak fall foliage will happen across the three regions of the Poconos at PoconoMountains.com. We're flashing back to a great discussion of our region's fall brilliance from last year's Pocono Mountains magazine. More on that in a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions, with 2,400 square miles of rivers, mountains, forests, and lakes, with iconic family resorts and historic downtowns. It's a perfect getaway. You can always find out more at PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Now, back to the episode. I was fortunate enough to sit down with a state forester, a photographer, and a train conductor last year around this time, and the same perspectives ring true each year, including this year. Enjoy. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Pocono Mountains Magazine. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Hamill, here on the front deck of the Lake Wallenpaupack Visitors Center overlooking Lake Wallenpaupack. It's a beautiful scene any time of year, but especially as we're approaching fall. And I've got with me three gentlemen who know a little bit about the fall season. To my right, your left, Jeff Seidel is a photographer based here in Hawley, and he has captured some exquisite scenes across the Pocono Mountains. And to my left, a southern Monroe County native, but a service forester with DCNR, Garrett Beers. And to his left, your far right, Mr. Tim Wright. He's the excursion manager for Stourbridge Line based in Honesdale that traverses the railroad from Honesdale through Hawley all the way to Lackawaxen, and has fall foliage excursions planned for this fall as well. So, gentlemen, thank you again for joining me here on Pocono Mountains Magazine. We wanted to get right into what we're about to experience here as these leaves change color. Amazing views here throughout the majestic Poconos. Jeff, you've captured some of those. And what is it about capturing the vibrant fall foliage with all those contrasting colors every season?
It just draws you in, and you don't know where to stop, and you're always watching the traffic behind you and trying to find a place to pull over.
It just captures you, each and every day, whether it's morning, noon, or evening. Describe to me some of the best shots that you might have had. We were going over some of those recently, whether it's Lake Wallenpaupack or the river,
Well, it sneaks up on you, and like you said, second week in September it starts, and you go for a hike, maybe at Promised Land State Park, and you're strolling along the little creek that feeds the lake, and all of a sudden there's this branch there in bright red color that's peeking at you. It's coming. It's coming.
It is, and we are very fortunate here in the Poconos to have a pretty lengthy season, multiple weeks, especially from the northern part of the Poconos to the southern part, from Pike and Wayne counties through Monroe to Carbon. Garrett, you know a little bit about how the Forestry Service then looks to notify people of how things are going to pan out, whether it be peak season, whether it be the beginnings of the fall foliage turn. What can people expect to learn from the Forestry Service over time as we go into September through October and into November?
Okay. Well, every week we put out a fall foliage report throughout the counties. Each one of our forest districts puts one out across the state. That'd be 20 different forest districts. And I believe it usually starts around middle of September and then rolls all the way through peak leaf season, middle to end of part of October, and then usually ends around the beginning part of November, depending where you are in the state. Colors will start a lot higher up in the elevations, up in northern counties, and they'll work their way south as October fades out.
And each and every year, there's no easy formula to determine what year to year it'll look like. It's probably dependent on weather, saturation from Mother Nature, and everything else.
There's a lot of different factors that play into it. You definitely have, droughts, excess moisture can play a part into it, have all those sorts of things. Early frost in the fall is a pretty good one to really change the leaf colors. But usually around our area, northern Monroe, Central Pike, usually about the second to third week in October is usually peak leaf season.
All right, we'll put it on the calendar then. And as far as the calendar goes, too, a lot of events coincide with the fall foliage season, including train excursions. Tim, talk to us a little bit about what the Stourbridge line tries to do for its riders each and every season. I know you've been on many of those fall foliage excursions. What's planned for this fall for the Stourbridge line?
Our plan for this fall is like our previous years to give a nice relaxing rail excursion along the Lackawaxen River. And starting out with our Pocono Foliage Express, we start that at the end of September, and that goes all the way through October. And we've actually had people come over multiple times throughout the year to see the change of early leaf change in the end of September to the peak in about the second week there, and then almost at the end of the month as well. And we do our different event trains as well during October, like our pumpkin patch train. We're just trying to do a whole family fun experience that can come up to the Poconos, check out the area, ride the train, and check out everything else we have up here.
There's a ton going on up here, from the small towns to, like Tim said, you've got fall season with the pumpkins picking there at your property there in White Mills area. And to think of how many people come here to experience this, but we live here, guys. Like, that's the really kind of unique thing, is that we get to experience this every day we wake up to every moment that we go to sleep. Jeff, how special is it to be here in the Poconos as you see the seasons shift?
I mean, it's incredible, really, to see the seasons come on you, and then you wonder where you're going to go to look at things,
right.
So we're lucky we have the airport up here really close to town.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up in a plane up there. I've only done it once, but it was fantastic. And
right.
Some of the images you're probably going to see in this segment is
right.
You're going to see what the view is, and it's just incredible. But you don't have to go up in a plane. There's many other places. There's high points that you could go visit, and you can see the vista with all the colors just erupting. And if you do it early in the morning, you get the nice mist coming off the water, and it's just gorgeous.
That top of Tanglewood was one that really kind of stood out, right? You
right.
can see right down to the lake here,
right.
And just that shifting change throughout the river banks here, 52 miles of shoreline, that offers a very wide palette, does it not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Garrett, what are some of your favorite spots here? I know you guys manage Delaware State Forest. That ride along 402 is spectacular in the fall season. Any other spots that you can kind of point people out to from the state parks or anything else?
I can't really speak for state parks, so to speak, because we're different, all DCNR, but we're managed a little bit differently. So I really don't do a lot over there in the state parks. Sure. So the best place you can usually find some really good fall color is around the swamps. We have tons of water around the area. Get some of the smaller backcountry swamps. You have a nice red maple around the outside of them. The blueberry mix in there as well. One of the first places that really start to change is always really nice. Reminds you a lot of Canada if you're familiar with going up there. You'd think you're honestly a couple states up north. It's pretty crazy how it actually looks different than most of our surrounding forest. Other place you get really good views is you hike up to High Knob Fire Tower. That's in central Pike County. Phenomenal views. You can see all the way into the Adirondacks, all the way down Delaware Water Gap, Blue Mountain. You can see really far, especially on a nice day that doesn't have a lot of humidity.
Yeah. And that's what we're known for here in the fall season. The perfect temperatures, the perfect visual cues, and then you can sit back along the Lackawaxen River, Tim, and you can experience all that, and you can experience wildlife. A lot of bald eagles. What else do you see along the tour for the Pocono Foliage Express?
A lot of bald eagles. We like the fall a little bit better than the summer right now because the leaves are starting to come off the trees, so it's a little easier to see those eagles. And then deer, turkey, geese, ducks, rabbits, bears. We see a lot of different variety of wildlife on the train. Can't guarantee every single train out that we'll see an animal because, of them being wild animals, but usually we see a good variety every time we're out in the tracks.
And this year, again, like previous years, the Pocono Mountains are in the running for 10 best, USA Today 10 best destinations for fall foliage. And so people can go to PoconoMountains.com/vote to vote once per day for the Pocono Mountains. We've come in second and third in previous years. So this year we want to come in first because there's so many people, I think, who appreciate the value of the natural surroundings that we have here. So again, head to PoconoMountains.com/vote to vote for the Poconos. Is there anything else you guys would like to leave us here talking about what the fall season means to you, especially from a visual standpoint, Jeff?
Well, I really love it when the seasons overlap. So in the last 15 years, probably, I've caught it where the snow came while the leaves were still in full color. So that's just a special thing when that happens.
Certainly is.
Probably not good for the trees, but yeah, it's gorgeous.
Or for my wardrobe, having to break out that winter stuff just a little bit sooner than I thought.
Right.
Garrett, anything that you'd like to share, especially from a forester's standpoint? I know that you certainly think about the ecology and everything else that goes with it. It's nice to see this area, continue to thrive, I guess, from that standpoint, right?
Yeah, it's cool to see people actually come out and use the resources we have and we protect. We spend a lot of time and resources in the state forest system really managing it for public recreation. So it's nice to see people out there actually using the state forest. It's also a cool time in the fall to really see all the wildlife migrations, see how everyone's preparing for the winter time.
Right.
I'm a big waterfowl guy, so I really like to hear the migration. You'll be out there in the woods and you'll hear geese all day long flying down the Delaware River going south. So that's kind of cool. It kind of makes you feel like you're starting to, winter time's coming. You got to start making a lot of preparations and button everything up before the snow comes.
That's a good reminder. And Tim, I know that you will be out there on the train this season. What do you want to leave people with, some lasting reminders of what they can really experience here in the Poconos for the fall season, especially?
Of fall season, just the beautiful everything that we have here. If you trip up to come to visit the area and then hop on the train, do all our fun activities, maybe have some apple cider and donuts and just enjoy that favorite fall time.
You're speaking my language right there with those apple cider and donuts. Again, we're going to have at PoconoMountains.com/fall. There will be a link for the fall foliage forecast. Like Garrett said, it'll be updated through the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources and the foresters each and every week to let you know when peak fall foliage season is here in the Poconos throughout the different regions here. So head to PoconoMountains.com/fall for that fall foliage forecast this September and October up until November. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on Pocono Mountains Magazine. From the Lake Wallenpaupack Visitor Center, it's Jim Hamill, and we'll send it back to the show. Catch the train or the best shot for social media or that fall foliage forecast right here in the Poconos. Go to PoconoMountains.com/fall. Thank you for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen.
Fall in the Pocono Mountains, it's like a little bit more of summer. Except it's wonderfully crisp and really colorful. For the best of our colors, check out our fall foliage forecast to know when to plan your visit. Fall in love with our fall. It's one love affair that you'll never fall out of. Visit PoconoMountains.com.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. One of the perfect ways to experience that majestic foliage this season is along the railroad and the river, but not the way you might think. You have to pedal, or not, on rail bikes. Diana Fontanez recently visited PA Rail Bikes, formerly Soaring Eagle Rail Tours in Hawley. Enjoy.
As we say goodbye to summer and enter the fall season, there is still so much to do in the Pocono Mountains. I want to bring you along with me on a fun outdoor adventure that you can still do through the end of October. So today I'm here at PA Rail Bike, formerly known as Soaring Eagle. So tell me how you guys brought it to a next level under new ownership.
Sure thing. So they were already doing a great job. We just wanted to add a few new features. So for example, we have electric motors on the bikes, which takes you up and down the tracks with very little effort. If anybody's ever been on an e-bike, it's the same technology, same idea. So it does the work for you so you can enjoy what's around you just a little bit more rather than worrying about your heart rate. So
I was going to say, so it makes it helpful for people of all ages.
Absolutely. So we've opened up the door for really anybody to get on the bike, whether they're 0 or 94, anybody can get on and go.
And I saw you have 2-seater bikes and quad bikes.
Yeah, so it's great for groups, families. We have a group with 3 quads and 1 tandem, so a big group, which is really fun. And then just 2 people, 1 person can get on and go. We're accommodating everyone.
All right, I'm excited to get out there.
It'll be great.
Okay. So Mike, now that we're on the track, tell me, where does this track take us, this trail?
Sure thing. So these rails, they've been here forever, but they've always gone to the same place.
Okay.
So Jersey City, 125 miles away from here.
Wow. Okay.
So we're gonna go down the tracks today about 5 miles. We'll hit the turnaround spot. We'll head back the same way, another 5 miles, so 10 miles round trip. So that's one of our runs that we do,
Okay.
about 10 miles. We also, on the weekends, we go, it's called kind of our sunset tour. We call it Rails and Ales. We'll serve drinks along the way,
fun.
and it's 24 miles.
Oh, I
So
love that.
we go about double the speed, do it about 3.5 hours.
Well, I love that this is a great activity to like do in the spring, the summer, the fall. So you guys are open what time of year?
We basically begin in the end of May
Okay.
for the holiday there, and then we get through October 31st. So we get through the leaves changing colors.
Oh, I love
We ramp up. We get a little busier in October because everybody wants to come out here. I mean, it's Pennsylvania, it's the Poconos. It's amazing.
The fall
when the
foliage
leaves
is
change.
amazing, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're pretty lucky out here to have this. And this is just a unique way to see it. You can't see things that unless you get out here on these tracks, because there's not really any ability to get out here with cars or hiking. So this is a good way to do it. A lot of people come here though and they have disabilities. They've got, you know, a bad knee or a hip that hurts. And so this makes it so that they can do that.
That's amazing because it's not limited for anybody. Like anybody can come and do it.
Yeah, we had a family here. There was 40 of them. The youngest child was 0, attached to mom and dad on a harness.
I love that.
And then the oldest in the family, grandma, great-grandma, great-great-grandma, she was 94.
Oh.
So we had that whole group here.
See,
That
that's
was
great
pretty
because
neat.
no one missed out and they had a wonderful memory that they'll have for a lifetime.
Yeah, definitely.
You're definitely giving me a view that I never would have expected. I don't know what I was expecting, but I think this just like exceeded my expectations.
Well, hey, all right. That's what we hope for. You know, most of the time people get off the bikes and they say, hey, that was really awesome.
Yeah. So that was such a unique experience. Definitely exceeded my expectations.
Awesome.
If people want to check you guys out, where can they go?
Go to parailbike.com and we're on social media as well. You can find us all over the internet, so there we are.
All right, so definitely check out their website, check out their social media platforms. Thank you again for having me. I'm Deanna Fontanez for the Pocono Television Network.
PA rail bikes along the Lackawaxen River and the pending fall foliage returning all around us right here in the Poconos. We hope you enjoyed Pocono Mountains Podcast. Please remember to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.